And motion?
Second.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We're gonna,
7:42.
it's 7:42. We're gonna reverse the order tonight and go on the other business. Summer calendar, is this in reference to a July meeting?
Yeah, July and August, I didn't know if we were gonna plan on taking any time off, or
Yeah.
should it depend upon applications?
Yeah, I know, I got a call, Mark, you know who, we got someone at this,
I heard from someone that said someone's selling a piece of property,
in an industrial zone.
industrial zone, and,
He needs a special permit.
well, he's looking into the property,
Yeah.
so I would just say if
Yeah,
he really needs it, maybe we can meet.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I said. See, he called me and asked me, and I said, call me tomorrow. I said, because we haven't voted on it yet. I said, usually, although I did look, last year, we did meet in July, because I.
We did.
Took August
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
We took
okay.
August off, yeah.
So why don't we plan on meeting in July, because I know we have one, and we may have some other issues on 441 Main Street, could come up as well, so.
What would that date be in July?
First,
Looking it up now, Mike, just turn my phone on. I
If your eyes are
believe the
better
fourth
than
is on.
mine, there's a calendar up there.
Oh, behind, right here.
It'd be the first.
oh, you can see that?
I
I had LASIK, my
I
LASIK
can't
is
see it.
wearing off.
Can you see it really,
Yeah.
seriously?
Yeah, July first.
Yeah.
July 1st.
Yeah, I can see it.
I can't see it. That'd have to be 5 times big for me to see it. I get the.
Don't ask me what color it is, but
Yeah, I
can
get the
see it.
Unibank, but that's it, that's about it. So we'll meet in July, and then we'll decide if, on August, on the July meeting, how's that? Does that sound good? July 1, okay.
So we're gonna meet in
July.
Yeah,
July.
yeah, July 1. Okay, we got an invoice for Julie in the amount of $236.75. I'll press that down.
Start down there.
I think we all have to sign it.
Okay.
I don't know if everyone else saw that.
Please see those as well. So when you guys get done, we'll just have a motion from someone. Okay, we need a motion to approve the bill. What was it for? 230,
236.
236.75. We need a motion.
Motion to approve the bill for expenses for 236.75.
Second,
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's all set.
Should I sign this? I wasn't here for the last meeting.
If you weren't here,
Yeah.
don't
No,
sign it.
don't sign that. Thank you.
You weren't either.
So the minutes, are the minutes of the May?
Yes.
I read them earlier at home, and I just passed them down there.
you wanna sign it?
I read the minutes
You want to sign it?
on the executive session.
Yeah.
We don't have to sign those.
I didn't think so.
We just vote to accept it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. We want to make a motion to accept it?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the
May 6th,
May the 6th.
okay. Secondly, Kathy,
Second.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is there any open discussion of anything that we could discuss that we need to, Julie? Or do you have anything, Kathy?
Nope, I'm good.
Mark?
Are we looking for one more full-time person here, or do we,
Yes,
what do we
at
need?
least one.
No, I think it's better if we don't, because then we can control, yeah. We've got a few vacancies, yeah.
Okay.
Start in trouble.
I understand there was somebody that was gonna, ask the selectmen about, doing it. He's actually not a resident, but he's a taxpayer.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that.
You can,
You can?
you can.
Really?
Can point at anyone, right?
As long as they're a taxpayer or,
Really, so you could probably be on the zoning board of appeals for both towns?
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Is that written somewhere?
You can't.
Certain person had asked,
The town, all the municipalities that I've worked in, and I've worked in New Hampshire, you couldn't do that.
well, it's funny because, I have a place up in Hampton Beach, and I had asked this guy, Tom McGurk, he owns a restaurant up there, and he's on the zoning board, and he's actually a state rep. And I says, can I do that up here? And he says, what, are you crazy? He says, you're elected up here. They're elected.
Really?
The zoning and planning board up
Oh, wow.
in Hampton is elected.
Wow.
So, he says, do you still have that, those meetings there once a year, you know, those, we have town meetings?
Yeah.
I says, oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, see, the municipalities that I've worked in have been cities where they had managers, and things worked a lot quicker. One of the issues that when we were going over the zoning bylaws and all the changes, well, what happens is, I don't care how good you write them, until you start putting them, implementing them, then you find, oh, wait a minute, this doesn't work the way we wanted it. But the problem you got in the type of government is you gotta go to a town meeting, and it's a much slower process. I mean, in Brunswick, if you saw the ordinance in Brunswick, it would start out with a date of approval, and then there's like 3 or 4 pages of amendments, because you'd find out, oh, that's not working, so, but you could get it done in 30 days. Because you would go to the planning board, they'd set a hearing, bang, have a public hearing, make an approval, go the next week, go to the city council, approval, that's it. And in 30 days, it was effective. So, but here, it's a much slower process, because I know that we've talked about the rewrite of the zoning bylaws, and, some of the stuff in there is pretty.
I got one more question, Tom.
Go ahead.
They posted the building inspector's job, right?
Mhm.
Now, if someone else takes the job, has anybody here talked to the selectmen about saying how the code enforcement officer, since he is appointed by the selectmen, have to attend the zoning board meetings?
We've already voted on that.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, I mean, and in reality, he should be here.
Oh.
Because he's representing the town, the zoning enforcement, we should rely on that person to tell us what they think it is, and then we rule on that versus we telling the people what it is, because that's not the way it should work. We're an appeals board, appealing the zoning ordinance, not
Enforcing.
enforcing.
Enforcing it.
Yeah.
Right.
And, the person's, it's been asked to attend, although, the last meeting, he did call me, I said, hey, we're just going over the minutes and stuff, it's nothing.
Yeah.
But, if you got something here, it's much easier having the person there to say, well, why did you do that, and what was your thought process? And then it just gives the board some insight as to,
Why a
why it
decision
happened.
made.
Right,
Otherwise, you're
right.
relying on them to tell us what happened.
Exactly, you only get one side of the story.
Exactly.
And the positions that I had, I would, every appeal, I would, at the meeting, I would have a town statement. And I would take it right from the ordinance, and I would say, okay, section says this and this and this. I don't care how you rule, I'm telling you, this is what it says. And then the board would make their decision based on, and then they would ask me a question if they did, but if they didn't, they didn't. But I wasn't pro or con, I just made a flat statement. And that's why you really need the person here to say, well, on that, is it legals or?
Yeah,
Legals. Remember,
I can't talk about that.
I know, but, yeah, I mean, on that one there, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
we were sort of in the dark, and if he'd have been here, we could have asked him why, so we had to wait a meeting and come back with
Right.
Why
what
was
was
it
on.
approved and, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, those things you could just take care of it with the person being here, so
Right.
hopefully, in the new, person that comes in, you know, will be attending him, because.
Well, they're gonna, if the selectmen appoint them, it's one of the, they have to.
Hopefully, yeah,
Right.
yeah. I don't know how long a process it is. I mean, when's the date for reapproval, I mean, reappointment? 30th, June 30th?
July 1st it's enacted, so
So when would,
I think that's going out, for advertisement, isn't it?
Right away, isn't it?
It
June
was
1st?
approved for
Yeah.
publication,
So that
Yeah.
should be going out soon.
yeah. So is it anticipated that there be a lapse of building inspector, code and zoning official? We
I have
don't
no
know.
comment on it.
We
I
don't know.
just,
Okay. We won't comment on that. We won't go there then, okay. Do you have anything, Dan?
well, I wanted, you mentioned it, you know, can we follow up with the, process of the, rewrite of the zoning bylaws?
I don't know where that is.
I mean, I looked at one of these minutes and I guess I had commented that, you know, we didn't participate in it. And
Well,
we were invited,
You know,
to a special meeting on a Saturday and
yeah, I was there, you know, but the whole thing is,
it was a limited opportunity
Yeah.
of input, so, you know, I'd
to
like to.
me, Dan, I mean, to me, this is the way you do a zoning ordinance, and I've seen it done this way. I mean, I know, I've seen a company come in from New York and write a zoning ordinance for a town I worked in, and,
Well, what's your recommendation?
it should be,
How should it
it should happen with a citizen board, absolutely, you know, because
There should be a special board to rewrite it.
you have a, because what happened was the one that got written by these New York boys got thrown out. And then they assembled a group of developer, private citizens, or whatever, and then they rewrote the ordinance, and that's what they took. But in this particular one, the one we've seen, one person had wrote it. And I brought in an ordinance, you know, from Buxton, Maine, which is about 7,200 people.
Similar size,
Yeah, and they had like one page of, you
a
know.
matrix.
Yeah, one matrix, and this one's got 22,000 of them. And the danger of that is exactly what I just said, is that if you have missed something in there, you know, then you're stuck to going to the board. It's just too black and white, and zoning doesn't work
I
that way.
think it needs to have some categories in it, you know, so light manufacturing.
Exactly, but,
And instead of arguing over whether or not the company makes the right kind of widgets to be in place.
exactly, but it
So there
has to
should be
be,
some discretion with the board as to, is that light manufacturing?
it has to be flexible.
It has to be flexible.
Because if it's too black and white, then it just, it prohibits zoning. You know, and it, like I said, something
Make
could.
it rigid and you open up an opportunity for someone to appeal, saying you gave a permit for this, and you bang the square peg through a round hole.
Yeah. Well, I think-
It wasn't precise in terminology.
What I think more important, though, is that having administered several different ordinances, if you make an ordinance so rigid, so black and white, like on the matrix, where it says, this is approved, this is yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. I mean, they got everything in there but the kitchen sink, but there's gonna be, I know there's gonna be, some person that comes in town and says, hey, I'd like to do this, and it's not in here. It's not in there, so therefore, you can't do it, but yet it's probably a pretty permissible item to, you know, our business to do.
Right, I think one of the things it doesn't address is maybe new businesses.
Yeah.
That may be just coming
Yeah.
around. For example, just as an example,
Yeah.
I had a commercial tenant I met with yesterday, and they wanna open up one of these, like e-cigarette shops. And it's like a lounge place where you can sit and smoke these e-cigarettes, and, I don't know, you create
Chat, whatever.
different flavors, and it's like this, so, But something like that obviously is not the norm. It's a
Yeah.
brand-new
Yeah,
type of
yeah,
business.
that's exactly
So-
what I'm talking about.
Right, so you need to leave some room so that
Some
if
wiggle
something
room.
new does come along, that there's an avenue for them.
But
So I don't know,
if
I
you
don't,
have the laundromat that's not open now, and you
Yeah.
have somebody who wants to go and open the laundromat, I don't think they should have to come in, pay $600 to open up that laundromat because somebody else was already in that laundromat.
they don't have to
You
anymore.
don't.
We don't have,
Okay,
we already
we'll change
voted on
that.
that.
We
now.
changed
Okay,
it so
okay,
if it's
now,
the same
what happens,
business,
what
you can do a
happens if,
transfer.
in that laundromat, a seamstress comes in, it's in a commercial district, and she wants to open up a seamstress place, does she have to pay $600 to come in?
Yeah, that's a change of use.
As long as
See,
it's not
a commercial district, it's.
Well, that's the way they do it.
But
That's what I
this
know.
is, but Mark, that's the issue, is that one of the reasons why we need to rewrite it is so that we can address those in general categories.
Right.
So something like that can be addressed, because right now, you're
Yeah.
right, as it stands, every single change of use has to come in. But if it were written in the zoning ordinance
Yeah,
that
that's a
in a
permitted use.
commercial district, that
Right.
was a permitted use, then
Yeah, it
it
is.
wouldn't be an issue. I agree with you, it's stupid,
Right.
pardon me, but it is.
Can
But
we-
it needs to be addressed in the new zoning bylaws so that it won't be that type of issue anymore.
Right,
You-
right.
you know,
Does anybody know what the surrounding towns charge for special permits? Does anyone have?
mean, I don't know.
One
I
of
mean-
them I know is $150.
Are we still 600?
$650?
Yeah, 650?
I mean, can we make an effort to at least look around us and see whether or not we're competitive? And if we're not, we certainly should fall in line with
Well-
the norm. I mean.
Well, you know, what,
I know we've had this discussion
Yeah.
before, and
Well-
we had to at least cover the advertising costs and what it costs to send out the certified abutters list. That, I know we've, and I believe, if I even look through my notes,
I
we
under-
came up with a figure of about $275 would cover the legal notices and whatever the administrative cost would be to cover that.
So why are we at double that?
I agree with you, but I'm saying we've,
Oh,
we've,
we
we've
can-
already had
Hiding
this
it.
discussion.
well, you know.
Yeah, but we didn't resolve it. I mean,
They spoke about the use of the room, the
Yeah.
use of the electricity, the use of the heat.
yeah, but that's a one-sided argument. The flip side of the argument is the businesses make the buildings more profitable for the landlords, if it's a landlord-tenant situation. The town generates revenue, so to just isolate transactions and say somehow the town loses money, the town makes money by attracting businesses that pay real estate taxes, and they have minimum burden and income, impact on the infrastructure, because school buses
And-
don't stop in front of the
Exactly.
laundromat.
And there's an easy solution to
So,
this.
so it's a short-sighted,
No, but there is a solution.
the solution is I make a motion that we reduce the fee and cut it in half to $3.25, and we'll see how that works for a little while. Anybody on
Well-
board with me?
Well, the only problem is at the end of the year, if there's a negative in the account.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that,
The town can cover it, maybe.
well, here's the
They
point.
cover a lot of other deficits, and I'm exploring that
It
right
can't be a
now.
negative if it's $300 of the cost, and then the
Well, I
charge
don't-
is $600.
Well, that was an average that
Right.
we,
Yeah, yeah,
that we
it's that,
determined.
you
It's
know-
gonna depend on how many abutters there
Right.
are, how
Yeah.
many certified letters have to
You see,
go
well,
out.
there's variables
If you
there.
get a lot,
Again, we talked
Because
about.
right now, Dan,
We
Dan-
talked about passing on the cost directly to, and that's
To the
more
applicant.
direct, because when you talk about an average, why should somebody with 4 abutters have to pay $6.50 when the guy that's like 32 abutters gotta pay $6.50?
So what you're saying is.
That's like a
what the-
buffet type of
so
thing.
the applicant should be paying for his own mailing.
Yes,
And what he needs to do is he needs to, he could actually put the legal notice into the paper also.
no.
No,
I don't
we need
think
to-
that's a good
Conservation does that, and, what the applicant does is they bring in their green cards, so it has to be certified, and then what we do is we count the cards to the
Yeah.
abutters list.
yeah. I got,
So what happens if they don't do that, then you couldn't hear the
Can't
public
hear 'em.
hearing?
Right.
It's worth it,
Or-
it's worth for them to do that.
Yeah.
Or, one of the options we could do is to figure out, let's say, because part of the process is that they need to go and get the abutters list. If they see that there's 32 people on there, times $6.42, I think it is right now, to send a certified letter with return receipt, then they pay the actual cost
And
to
that's
do that.
split-
And
and
then Julie could do it, right? But
And then
they
charge
pay the
back,
actual
yeah.
cost of what the actual
Well,
postage is.
the problem with.
I think that's
Or should we
how
make
the
it like
fee
a
ought to be
flat-
Yeah, we don't wanna
structured.
do chargeback
flat
stuff,
fee
because
plus
then you collect-
postage.
You become a collection agency.
Well, but I
No,
think if you
no,
did a
but
flat
But you could
fee.
say,
If
this
you-
is your bill
No,
for
but
this.
you know something,
In
it
order
should
to
be-
submit their
it should be
permit.
the
Right.
same for everyone.
It's not
Should
the
be
same, though, it's not.
It's not, I understand that, but why should one person come in and pay $6.25 for a certified letter, where, you know, if they only have 10 on the list, and then somebody who has 32 on the list, just pays regular, you know, first class. Is that
Well,
what
you
you're
have to-
saying?
No,
No, it's
no,
all
because
the
they
same
have to
sta-
send it
Yeah,
certified,
it's all the
right?
same
They,
mail.
everyone
Yeah, it's
has
all
to do it.
certified.
Right, so what I'm
Right
saying is,
now, they don't have to send it certified because I'm doing it.
that's what I'm saying.
But you
So,
know that, you
but-
know the
but-
cost of it.
Well, what I'm,
No,
let
think
me
it's
just
the
be
same
clear what I'm
because
thinking.
she's not doing it.
I'm thinking a flat fee
Right.
plus whatever it costs the actual postage. So, for example, they come in, let's say their fee is $300, plus whatever the actual postage would cost. You would still prepare them as, but they would get their abutters list, they'd find out that there's 10 people on it. 10 people times $6.42, that gets added to their permit when they pay their permit at the town clerk, and that's their fee. So it's 300 plus whatever the postage would be to submit that. And then we get the whole fee for, you know, so we get reimbursed for the
But
actual
what-
expense.
Yeah, but what's the
Plus
cost?
the 300 would cover,
The
the-
advertising could run, depending on what it
It
was.
depends on how long,
Yeah, the
how big
advertising-
Right.
legal, and then also you have to take into consideration, the paper, the envelopes.
oh, no, I agree
And
with
And then
that.
sometimes
That's
you have,
why-
you have
that's why I'm trying to-
advertisers a couple times,
I understand that.
you know, because you get
But the
continued.
flat rate fee, I applied for a variance earlier this year up in Maine, and it was about $170, and I had to go get a butters list.
Yeah,
And how much did you pay for the abutters list?
The butters list was
they
free.
gave you that, yeah.
It's $25 here.
They gave me the butters list,
Yeah.
okay? And then it was up to me to send the letter certified mail. One of them was in Canada, I had to go registered. But I had to get those receipts, bring it back to prove.
When did you have to bring it
before-
back,
Before
Ian?
before they put you on the docket.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So it's gotta be, you gotta give at least 10 days on in town here, right, notice? So they pick up their application, they say, we agree to reduce the fee to $300. $300, that'll pay the legal advertising, okay? And your administrative costs. And then they go get the abutters list, and maybe they have to pay a fee for that. I'm not aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they get that, because it has to be official. Because if it's wrong, it's
Right.
not their fault. Okay? And then it's up to them to go get the green cards or the, whatever the other.
Certified?
There's two of them. The green card comes back
I
later.
agree with that.
But initially, they tear off that barcode thing. Right?
So you're saying they have to give you the.
So they give you
barcode
photocopies of all those, and they return those to you, and then
No,
you,
they-
Before we advertise it.
No, we need to, no, what happens is right now, I know with conservation, is when the person comes in, they bring in the green cards with them
At the meeting,
at the meeting.
and then you would check them off, with the abutters list to see if everyone got notified?
Yeah, usually.
What happens if they don't get notified?
I'm sorry?
What happens if they don't get notified, they don't, if they
I
miss
don't
one?
believe they don't hear it. If they're
Yeah.
not
They wouldn't be
notified,
on
everyone has to be
the, yeah, they wouldn't be
notified.
on the
So I mean,
agenda.
so the,
and if there's a continuance, you don't have to recertify.
No, you don't.
You don't. You just have to give notice once.
the good thing is, Dan, it reduces the price, but the bad thing is,
It would also reduce the administrative costs.
yeah, I understand, but if they don't do it for some reason,
Right,
Well, then they don't get on the
Well,
agenda.
then-
that's right. So
That's down them to do it.
but I think,
Would you guys get a?
No, what would happen is you would put them on the agenda,
You guys get a memo, you're all in blue, I looked down.
but when they come in, you say,
Like,
sir, ma'am, we can't hear you as you did not prove that you served the
Yeah.
abutters. In which case, you're on to the next meeting.
Yeah, that's okay.
You're
I
on to
don't
the
have a
next
pro-
meeting, you have to
Yeah, I
continue
understand
them.
that, but
They would still have a time to cure for the next meeting by
they're not
serving
gonna
that
be
person.
happy sitting
That's
there.
on them, though.
Yeah,
They
I
should, they would
understand
know
that.
ahead of time.
When I
Well,
first got
well-
on the board, we were hearing things that were incomplete, that I would've said, hey, listen, sorry, but it was incomplete because that's what they were told.
But
from
you-
someone that worked here.
But the ultimate, to me, the end goal is, if somebody wants to rent a commercial unit here in town, $650 to apply, and you're not sure you're gonna get the permit, is a gamble for a business
Well,
person.
yeah.
It's a gamble. And we don't have any permitted by right, uses here in town, because we have a zoning bylaw, a book that's
Antiquated.
antiquated.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
antiquated.
Yeah, it is.
So, in the here and now, we need to get businesses to come knock on our door. Well, you're hurting the landlords, the property owners in town, we're losing tax revenue, because you're not gonna get as much tax revenue out of a vacant building as an occupied building, because they use, you know, cash flow method to value commercial property. So if we set it at 300, we can see how it goes, and you know what? And if it turns out that it boomerangs and you know what, it isn't working out, we have the power to
Yeah.
change it.
Well, no, I don't have
This
a
is
problem
a
at all
sm-
with it, but the only thing I see is that if the person comes in and they need a decision and they drop the ball, we're gonna look like the bad guys because we can't hear you.
Well,
I had 11 abutters, okay? If I come in here with 10 receipts, what am I gonna say? I can't count? I missed the 11th one, sorry? Well, you gotta go serve them and come back next month. I mean, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
okay, but here's where my issue is with that, okay? I think that Julie probably needs to oversee that, only because how do you know what they sent those abutters? Do you have a copy of the letter that they sent? You don't know it. They could have sent them an
Here-
advertisement for, you know,
No, here's what you can do to solve that, I think.
but I think if she
How
oversees
does that
it,
work?
Hear me out.
Go ahead.
They get the abutters list, they go to the post office. They get that tear-off barcode, I don't know what you call it, but
Yes.
there's two pieces to the cert mail.
Yeah.
And they stamp that, and they hand that back to you.
Yeah, but we don't know what they're saying,
What they're sending out.
what they're sending
you
out.
could be
No,
sending them an
what you
advertisement
do
for a
is-
car for sale.
What we do is we
Hold on.
have a form.
There's a
Okay.
blanket
There's
form,
a form
there's a
that
Who
blanket
makes
I
it
would
up?
notice
fill
form.
out.
Oh, you would fill it out and give it to them?
And I would send them, like, they would probably give me their email address, and I would email them the form.
Okay.
This is what you need to.
Okay,
what
so,
you respond.
I take care of that. So,
But who
Tom,
verifies that?
That's what they gave me up in,
That's why I think.
That's what he
we need
did?
to
they gave me up in
Listen.
Maine, that they handed me the letter, you need to mail this letter to the abutters.
yeah, we did it.
And it would have
As long as I work, we did
it would have the time and the date of the notice.
Yeah,
It would
yeah,
be,
I don't have a problem with
it
it.
would be the next meeting.
Yeah, I don't have a problem, the only
It
problem.
was really easy, Tom.
Yeah,
It
I
wasn't.
understand, it's easy. for
And there's
you-
no excuse if you show up, well, I got 5 and I was
I
supposed to
know,
mail
see,
11.
but it's, you know, if someone.
But it saves the person $350 if we can reduce
Well,
that
let's try
cost. So you're gonna complain about saving money?
I think what we
No,
should do.
absolutely not. And Dan, I totally agree with you that we need to make it more attractive for business. I'll be the first one to say that. I've been saying that since the day I showed up here.
It
However,
works in
I
other
think-
towns.
no, I understand. I'm just saying, I just think that Julie should at least oversee
She should,
who
I
it's
agree.
going to.
Definitely.
Oh, you can't.
And why can't you just reimburse for the postage and the time as part of the fee? So you have a flat fee that covers the legal, and then they pay the actual postage.
That's perfect.
That way, you know, if you have 10 abutters, you only have to pay $60, but if you have 32, you gotta pay
So
more
you
than
want
that.
her to handle the mailing part?
I just want her to handle the
And then
mailing part of
direct bill
it,
that.
because we know what they're getting,
Exactly.
and she gets the green
she would add
cards
that to
back,
the-
and she can count them and say, okay,
So
yes,
she
we
could ask
verify
for
we have. a-"
$300, just say that
I don't
was
know
the
if that's the figure, but
Say, for
a flat
example,
fee.
they come in for 300,
Plus postage.
she
but I-
does her work, and before the hearing, they have to pay her for the postage.
Well, no,
That's done
they're
after
gonna
the
know when
fact.
they get their abutters list and when they
They'll know
have to
exact-
submit their
yeah,
check to
they'll know
the town
exactly
clerk.
They'll know what
Because
that- oh, yeah.
the town clerk will have what it costs to send out
Right,
each
all right.
letter,
100
so
plus
All right,
if
all
it's
right.
And I think that
30,
sounds
then
good.
she
All right.
does 30
Yeah.
I
times
like it.
642, and that's the calculation, and
Reduced
that's
it.
the whole check.
Beautiful,
Wanna make a
brilliant.
motion?
I like
Okay,
it.
wait a minute. So what you're saying is,
Wait a minute, I finally got them to
right
agree.
now, right now, we don't certify mail these. I don't certify mail these. They're just regular
They're gonna do it
first
though.
class post, oh, so they're gonna do it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because you could, what's gonna happen is.
You're gonna tell them how many.
We're
they
gonna
have to
charge them
send.
$300, and then,
Okay, see,
then
the
the
thing
that's
is,
not what I
I'm
said.
not- But see, the
That's not
thing
what
is,
she was
I'm
saying.
not here full-time to tell them
No,
who they have to send it to.
Well, that's why I'm
Ann's
saying.
gonna, see,
Not
that's
her,
another
you know,
job, that's
postage.
another piece for Ann to do, and that's not really her job.
well, all it is really knowing how much it costs to send certified,
But who's gonna
times
mail
how
it?
many abutters there are.
Who's gonna mail it?
The applicant.
It takes two, you know, if you got 10 abutters,
Yeah.
it's $6.42, then it's
They're gonna pay that
64.20.
At the post
I
office.
did it like, boom, done.
That's what
You
I'm
see what I'm
saying.
saying? Like, so when they get the
yeah.
abutters
Charge
list,
them for
it can
postage,
even be on the
yeah, or the
abutters list
post office.
form.
Yeah, if.
Times
if-
certified
if the-
fee.
Yeah, but if the applicant is gonna mail it, he's gonna pay right at the post
Well, no,
office.
we just said that Julie was gonna mail it.
And if Julie mails it, it's not gonna be
It's not gonna be
certified.
certified.
I thought they were all going out certified.
No. All we do
And the
first
reason,
class
the
mail.
reason, the reason that, I can see, the reason that Julie doesn't have to do it certified, because she's controlling what's going out.
Okay.
If we give it to the applicant, then we have to have proof of.
Okay, so now that you're
and the only
gonna
way to get
increase the
proof would
cost
be
for
to
the
certify
applicant.
Right.
So maybe we need to just make it, so whatever our actual
300
postage
plus
costs.
notification, whatever it is.
Right, whatever it is. I don't care if it's
It's
$6
still gonna be a
and
little bit of
42
savings. It's gonna be a savings.
Right,
Oh, substantial.
Yeah.
exactly.
I like that idea.
I mean, on the other way.
I have one every once in a while.
Well, I mean, the other way to do it, to make it a lot easier and, to average out, just say, instead of 300, go 350, and then we'll do
Okay.
the mailing, and then we don't worry, you know.
There you go.
All right.
Sometime some's gonna be 10, it's gonna be 20, but in the
Yeah,
end
so
of
you're
the
right
year-
in the same
It's gotta be-
ballpark.
Yeah.
Your
Okay.
average out.
Yeah, in the
All
same ballpark, so
Yeah.
350, and then we do,
Just
everything
take
stays the same.
$300 off.
There you go, you.
And if it works, it works, if it
You
doesn't.
make a
then-
motion, Tom?
You make a motion.
I'll make a motion, we try it out, we're gonna reduce the special permit fee to $350 from $650. And, with the, changes that we're gonna, directly bill the applicant for the actual postage cost.
No, we're not gonna.
No, we just
No,
decided.
flat rate
No,
is
it's the
350.
flat
We'll do the flat rate.
That includes everything.
We
That
just dropped
includes everything, and then we're gonna take care of everything like we did.
Strike that.
Yeah, just reduce.
Friendly
it to 350,
amendments
that's
there.
all.
Can I ask for an amendment to that?
Go ahead.
That we reevaluate it after
In September.
4 months?
Yeah.
And just see how it's working and see if we cover our expenses and things like that, and then we can
Absolutely.
bring it back
We'll do
up on the
monthly.
agenda?
We'll know right away.
We'll look at each one and see if we lost money.
Yeah, I mean,
Why don't we first,
there's not that
before we
many.
do this, why don't we look and see what other towns are charging, what they're doing?
I think it'd be huge if we just cut it.
Let's try it
let's try it.
and see what happens.
I wanna
And then if
second,
we
I wanna
realize
second
that
that
we're
motion
Which one?
Okay.
I
Friendly
don't-
amendment or that
with
one?
with the friendly amendment.
with the friendly amendment.
Okay, so Dan, you said that you made a motion to reduce the special permit fee to $350, and that's gonna be for special permits and variances? What about in-law apartments?
What is that currently?
In-law apartments, I believe, are $450.
That would be a second.
We already reduced that, didn't we?
No.
No. Well, let's move them all to 350.
Yeah, why is one gonna be
It's
different
more
than the
than
other?
350, same amount of
Yeah,
work.
let's
Yeah.
move them all to
All
350.
special permits, right?
Yeah. Let's do special permits at 350. I think that, which would
All
include,
special permits to 350,
which would include,
Variances.
yeah.
which includes variance.
Okay, so why don't you do another motion? Let's forget that, but
All right,
we don't have a second.
let's
so go
start,
ahead.
let's start clean here. I make a motion to, reduce the, special permit fees and variance fees to a flat rate of $350.
Second.
Seconded by
To be,
Mark.
oh, can we add the, to be
We
reevaluated
can do it
after
every
4
month.
months?
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, we do that anyway.
On our own initiative.
Well, I
we
just
can
wanna
do
make sure that we have something, a
Okay.
loophole to do that.
All right.
So to be reevaluated when?
3-4 months. I think,
How about 4 months?
4 months.
4 months.
Give Julie a few months to
To
actually go
track
through it all and make sure
track
it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Go through a
Okay.
few cycles.
So so we need a,
You got a second,
Second on
you got a
the-
second, Mark.
okay, on that.
All those in favor?
All those, any discussion first, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
unanimous. So Julie, the motion is to reduce the fees and special permits and variances from 650 to 350,
And
and
when's this starting? Effective when?
effective immediately,
So July 1st?
July 1st, yep. And that there'll be a review in 4 months to see how it's working.
Geez, I hope the rest of the boards follow suit as we just did. We just reduced the taxpayers some money, or whoever wants to come in.
Let's see how it works.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you know,
Happy
if
if you
it
want to
doesn't,
do that
problem trying.
for a
if it
while.
doesn't work, then we'll go back, but,
Well, you can even go back incrementally too, you don't have to go all the way up. You can go up
exactly.
a
Yeah,
hundred.
you know,
Cut the town tax
right,
rate from
right.
14
Well-
down to 7.
yeah, I
What I
mean,
was figuring is that we're not gonna be here in August, so that gives Julie July, September, and October to go through the
Yeah.
cycle, see if it's actually funding everything we need it to.
And if it turns out that it isn't, then, we have
You always
to.
go up 75 or 100.
50, 100, whatever it would
You-
be.
We'll
differences.
we'll know where
We can fine tune it.
the break is, okay.
When
All right, well, I
we
think
do them,
that,
for the next few months.
That's about it for this, for now, Charlie. We're gonna close the meeting and,
Administrative cost is-
go into executive
so we have
session.
something to reevaluate.
Ed,
You know, if you
not gonna come back, no. We're all set.
come back,
You have to say that, we're not.
Oh, yeah, we're not coming back. So we need a motion to
Make sure that
close. Mike, make a motion?
Motion to close?
Second? Second, Kathy? Make a
Sure,
second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. Okay, Mark, you're gonna?
I'm gonna recuse myself for the
you're gonna take-
440.
Okay, all right, good, thank you.